All right, good morning. It's Thursday, July 20th, and we're taking a look at the market prior to open. Looks like on Wednesday, sold off a little bit into the after hours, kind of popped back up into these levels, which was the pre-market high and the high a day from Tuesday. Went back up into those levels, got rejected, and it looks like we're forming a bit of a double bottom here at this level, 453.73. In my recap video that I posted yesterday, I said something that I'd be looking for is which way we break out of this range that we're forming here. As you can see, we have support, 2 touches here, we have resistance, a few rejections up here. Ultimately, the first thing I'm looking for is which way do we break? Do we break to the upside or do we break to the downside? We're in this channel here, and I think whichever way we get some break, we'll look for continuation in that pattern. I think a valid area to mark would be this 456. You can see that we failed to close above it 4 or 5 separate times on the hourly time frame yesterday. So there's definitely some action going around up here. You could even look at the high a day at that 456.43. But if we do break to the upside, I'd be curious to see what price action starts to do in this level. We might get some more rejections as we did yesterday. Or if we break through that, that's pretty bullish as well. That's also the most recent high, or the highest price that we've reached in the past year. So a break of that would be quite bullish to the upside. Still got about 7 minutes, about maybe a little over 6 minutes, I guess, technically, until the market opens. But I am seeing that we came down, got a bounce off this level, rejections up here, came down, and it looks like we're getting some buyers stepping in at this price as well, causing that price to open a little higher. If we do break to the downside, I would probably target this 453 area, since it was a pretty big bounce in the aftermarket of Tuesday's session. Otherwise, might look for all the way down to 452, continuation down. So pretty simple game plan for today. We're in this range. We've had a couple bounces down here, had some rejections up here. We're gonna look and see if we can break to one side or the other. And if we can do so, then we'll look for either, if we break to the upside, we're looking for an entry on a pullback, a higher high, or sorry, we're looking for an entry on a pullback, a higher low. If we break to the downside, we're looking for an entry on a pullback, lower high. So puts on a lower high, falls on a higher low, and look for continuation in the direction that we're trending. And hopefully we do get some trend. You can say we've had some nice trending days. Yesterday was a bit more choppy. It looks like we really are getting some buyers stepping in. Almost have like a pin bar coming off that support down here. So still about 4 minutes until the market opens, so I'll be curious to see how things are looking. I'm gonna pull up some contracts here. we're going to look at tomorrow's expiration, so Friday's expiration. Let me see where we're at here. So if we're looking for calls, I might look for like 455. You could potentially look for a bounce off this level as well. Bounce twice in the pre-market, so if we open a little bit higher and pull back into this level, you potentially look for like a 454 call bounce. So I might just load that up, because if we do start to head up and break this level, I'll have time to adjust. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a pullback today. Kind of sold off, pushed up, failed to make a higher high. We're opening below the low of yesterday. The low of yesterday is about 454.5-ish area. Somewhere in here is about the low of yesterday. And then as far as puts, I would look at, let's see here, maybe 453, maybe 454, depending on if you're taking a rejection on these levels or if we break below here and you're looking for continuation down here. It looks like we're kind of pushing up initially, so I'll look at a 454. And that is off the premise that we are above 454. Might get a rejection on these levels here, as we have been a couple times in the pre-market. And if we do get a rejection, we push back down to this level. That's the nearest contract that would be then in the money. Other than that, we're just kind of hanging out, just waiting to see how things play out. I'll have the hourly chart here up. You can see we did have quite a big bounce off this level. It will be interesting to see which way we go today. I'd be amazed if we could just continue to make new highs. Curious to see what, I want to see something here. I'm gonna do Lilac, Cat Tesla. So Tesla had earnings. Looks like people kind of sold the news. It is not doing so hot. Alrighty. So we're opening, we're pushing up into this area. Getting some rejection. And that level that we're looking at here on the hourly chart is from, what is that, Tuesday's high of day and the pre-market high. And we've seen that level to be pretty consistent throughout yesterday's session. A lot of bounces off those levels. Now that we broke below it, a lot of rejections off those levels. So that's where those are coming from. That's what we're looking at. If we push up into here, I might look for a put position. I don't want to rush anything. Like I said, I really want to see a break of this range, either to the upside or the downside before I make like a big bet. But you could look for a potential rejection up here, since we've had quite a few failures to break that in the pre-market. and it was strong support yesterday. But we are kind of pushing up into it. I'm gonna put a limit order at 118. That got filled. I want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room because this is kind of the zone that I'm looking for a reject. So I'm not going to set my stop loss quite yet. I want to see how price reacts. I want to see how the premiums move, so I don't get stopped out prematurely on this. Okay, so it looks like at the top of that range we're about 1.08. I might put mine at like 1.05. Just giving myself a little bit of wiggle room for this to play out. Also forgot, I'm going to put on some lo-fi so we can vibe in the downtime. I think this is, I don't know if this is actually lo-fi, this is just copyright free music, but so it looks like it might stop me out here. Alright, so we have kind of broken above that range. Next thing I'm looking for essentially, and I probably should have just stuck to my plan rather than taking that put, is since we are breaking this range, I'm looking for a pullback and a call off that. And we're looking for 455 call here. I'm a little hesitant to take a call here since we did kind of pull back and we're in this like in-between zone here. I would have liked to see like a clean break above that kind of area that we've been bouncing off of, because we have had some struggles to break that 455. So the fact that we have not closed above that makes me a little hesitant to take a call right below it. I think I might actually reopen a put position. Reason being, if you're looking at this hourly chart, we got that wick up top, and we're still forming that first hourly candle. So it's entirely possible that we do close above. But with a bit of a struggle to break that 455 level, we have had some resistance. It was a strong support yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a bit of a pullback here. So it looks like I stopped out once again. Perhaps not, but we are showing some strength. So this put position is probably not the greatest position to be in. I have my stop though. I'm gonna just let this trade play out. Excuse me. I'm gonna let this trade play out. I'm not gonna get out unless it stops me out. I think we do still see kind of that inability to break 455, at least for now. It's pretty likely that we will though, based on this bullish momentum that we have here. So yeah, that's probably gonna stop me out, that push up. Or perhaps not. So we see some selling coming in at that level. There's a big volume spike that accompanied that push down in price. So there is something to be made of that area in terms of a resistance. So we saw some big volume come in at the end of that last candle, and it pushed the price down pretty significantly. So yeah, it looks like we might be getting some selling at that level. But we are experiencing some buyers here as well. So I'm not going to move up my stop loss just yet. I'm going to let this play out a little bit. Yesterday I had a few winning trades that I got stopped out early because I moved my stop loss up. and didn't give it time to move. So that's not looking so good for me in this position. But like I said, keeping the stop loss where it is. We're just gonna let this play out. So there's definitely like a bit of like indecision up here. We're finding support at this level, but we're also finding some resistance up here. So we're kind of in this in between. It'll be interesting to see kind of which way we end up breaking out. So we got about a minute left, a little under a minute left in this candle before it closes. Some volume just came in. That was a bit of buying volume. As you see, the volume jumped, the price kind of jumped. We might just be forming like a bull flag that will break out to the upside. That's entirely possible. So definitely some buying volume coming in. And we open a little higher. So it does seem like we kind of have this inability to break this 457.7 level. 454.7, I apologize. That's acting as a strong support. As you see, we've kind of wicked and touched it a few times, but if we break that, I can see continuation in the downside. If we continue to show inability to get below that, that probably poses a bit of a problem to this position that I'm in here. With the market being as bullish as it has been lately, I think taking puts has been kind of risky on my part. So this might be a ill-advised play here. Yep, so we're pushing up. Are we going to get rejected again at this level? Still have yet to really break above that 455. can see volume's kind of falling down, dropping a bit as we're coming up here. Price action's kind of stagnant. A little less than a minute, or sorry, a little less than 3 minutes on this candle, so we still got time for that to form. I misread the time. So we are pushing up. We're at that 455 area. There's 455. There's, yep, pushed up. That's not stopped me out. I'd be very surprised if I didn't. So we've definitely got some higher volume on this candle than the previous one. We still have about a minute and a half, and you can see we're pretty much matching the volume for the last candle, and we are pushing up higher, so this could be the one that kind of pushes us through that resistance here. It's dancing right around my stop loss. Yeah, definitely some pretty good volume coming in on this one. So yeah, that is typically actually the trade that I'd want to be in, taking a retest of this area for some calls. I'm kind of backwards. Didn't follow my plan and I missed the trade that I actually wanted to take. So I have a decent loss for the day. 2 losing trades on puts. I want to look at a call entry. We can get me a fill here. Place that. So I'm placing my stop kind of down around this area. If it wicks, if it falls below that, I'll get stopped out. Actually, I might put it just below the lowest of, so this, put it there. So yeah, my plan was to trade whichever way we broke out of this range. If we broke to the upside, calls on a retest. If we broke to the downside, puts on a retest. I took 2 puts at this level, looking for a rejection. That was against my plan. I took losses on both of them, so I guess that's a lesson to myself. That wasn't in my trading plan necessarily, and I paid for it, so. Stick to your plan. So we are holding that support pretty strong. Um, these red candles, or I mean, this one's green now, but past two candles have been like attempted pullback, sell off, been pretty low volume. So I'd really like to see some buyers step in and push this a little higher. If we could break high a day, I'm looking to target that 456 level. As a take profit up here. But we will see how this plays out. Definitely pretty low volume candle that we're printing right now. We got less than 2 minutes left in it. And it's like about half the others in terms of volume, so. So yeah, looks like we might be getting a bit of a sell-off here. Some of that bullish, there we go. So I have taken 3 losses on the day, and this is the rejection that I was looking for initially that I got stopped out at. So, oh man, it's a tough one. So here's that sell-off from that level. Man, I just got stopped out. Guess I should have given myself more wiggle room on puts. My entry probably was a little preemptive. But it's a bummer. So before the market opened, I was looking at two things. I was looking that we had this strong area of rejection up here that was strong area support, or strong area support yesterday's session, strong area of resistance in today's pre-market. In the open, I saw us wicking up here and kind of failing to close above it. I took some puts. I got stopped out up here. I took calls on this break above and retest in here, and then got stopped out as well. If I'm looking at the hourly time frame, you see that on the first hour candle that we failed to close above. I think that aligns pretty well with what we saw in the pre-market, where we were rejecting off this level after a failure to close above. We got really high volume coming in on this sell candle. I suppose if I'm taking something away from this, it would probably be that I think I got in too early on my initial puts. I should have at least waited like a candle or two after this first one. I think my stop loss is another thing. I think what I've been doing is setting too tight of a stop loss. I mean, I set my stop loss decent here because I would have, if I set it looser, I would have taken a bigger loss. So it's a trade-off. I think I saw these long bottom wicks, this break above, that made me think that we would continue this move upwards after breaking above this range that we failed to in the pre-market. Yeah, I'm just trying to. That's weird. Hopefully it didn't screw up anything with the stream, but yeah, I'm looking at these puts. If I look at the top range here, like where we were topping out, if I gave myself a little bit of wiggle room, I wouldn't have got stopped out there. I think my entry was just pretty bad. So it's a lesson in entries, it's a lesson in stop losses once again. Something that I'm learning, but had you got an entry somewhere around up in here, pretty good return that we're looking at, about 30%. I just want to pull up SPX and see. It looks like we're kind of at a level of resistance on SPX as well. So I think taking calls here kind of was a little premature on my part. These are moving really well. It's about like a 35, almost 40% from up here in terms of return. Yeah, it's moving really nice. We're officially below the opening print from today's opening price. It's generally a pretty bearish sign if we fail to hold above that. You could look for a potential bounce off of this 453.73. So I might take a 454 call off this level with a pretty tight stop. We are seeing some buyers step in. The selling's kind of slowing down. So it looks around that 454 level. We are seeing some buyers start to come in, but I think it's a little too early to try to look for a reversal here. Perhaps not. Still have a few minutes left in this candle, so I'm kind of wanting to see how that closes. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle to close. We have some really high volume coming in on these last 3 candles. I'm considering taking 455 calls the reversal here. I'm a little hesitant. I might put a buy in at $1 strike. So I'm getting in at market actually. So 104. So I have two here. I'm looking for a reversal here off this support. If we don't get it, I'm gonna exit this position. Looks like we are not gonna get it. Maybe not. So it looks like we are getting some buyers stepping in. I'd really like to see us hold that support. The reason I didn't cut immediately was because the volume's really low and it's slowing down on these selling candles. We are in this support area, so I'd love to see some buying come in and a reversal. But yeah, my position here is pretty bad. My entry price is bad. It's kind of been the story of today. My entry has been bad. I set a stop loss and then get stopped out. This will be my last trade of the day, regardless of how this plays out. I'm not interested in trying to trade more. Obviously, today's not been my day. I'm pretty far in the hole down. Yeah, this is terrible. I'm not sure that we're seeing the buyers come in as I hoped. Doesn't look like it. So a ton of volume on this candle. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that we're gonna push up. Looks like we're continuing to sell off. Yep, I'm out. Oh man, that's a rough day. That's a really bad day for me. Had I held on to these puts, I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's like an 80% return. That's a really bad day. I took it way too big of a loss. I'm not happy at all with how it played out. But I'll learn from it. Hopefully. Oh man. I think I over relied on my levels a little bit too much. I should have looked at the pre-market high. I think you should always take priority over the most recent levels, but if I mark that pre-market high, that's pretty much the top of day. Had I waited to enter my puts around there and set my stop loss a little above, I probably would have caught, at least down to this level, which is what I was looking for when I took them. I know originally I said I was looking for a break to the upside or the downside. But I think the levels that we were looking at were just maybe a little bit influenced from, too long ago. And I should have looked at more recent price levels. That's a hard one, man. Today was a tough day. I lost like 10% of my portfolio. That's pretty bad. It's really bad. Yeah. I made a lot of mistakes today. Back to the drawing board. I'll make a review of today's trading session. There's a lot of mistakes that were made. Yeah, come back tomorrow and do our best to bounce back from this. Alrighty, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.